Day 322 of Everyday Bible with Ada Ukabia, Acts chapter 7 and 8. Before Stephen responded to his accusers, he do something unexpected. He refreshed their memory. He starts from Abraham. He moved through Joseph, Moses, David, Solomon, all the way to Jesus. But why? Sometimes people know they realize how far they don't drift, how far they don't walk out from God until their own story is read back to them. So Stephen not just recites history. They also remind the leaders of Israel, say, God don't they guide them from generations, state. They remind them, say, their ancestors, they resist God's messengers. And now, then they repeat exactly the same pattern with Jesus. So Stephen, they want them, make them see how they reject Christ and not be saying an isolated mistake. Now part of a long circle of ignoring God's voice. They hold up a mirror so that they go recognize the truth. Stop there. As I come to read this very first chapter for today, I come to see how Stephen, they highlight the life of Moses in 3 chapters of 40 years each. Now 40 years, in Egypt, they learn influence, they learn about power. Now 40 years, they from Midian, after he don't run away, when he don't kill that Israelite, they can't discover his secret. They learn humility, where they live in a strange land. Then for 40 years, he can guide the people of Israel. They learn leadership. You see how God they work with us like that? Sometimes you could think say your life they stuck, but God they shape you in seasons. Some seasons go stretch you. Some seasons go break you. And some seasons go prepare you. At age 40, Moses tried to fight injustice by his own strength. And he failed. After 40 more years, God can't appear to him in the burning bush. Not be when Moses they feel say him they qualified. And that time him they feel empty. Then God appeared to him. Then for another 40 years, he can't lead a people where they constantly doubt him all the way through the wilderness. So Stephen, they use Moses to remind every one of us that purpose is not rushed. Purpose is unfolded in God's own timing. During that burning bush encounter with God, and even afterwards, Moses still they fear. He fear to return to Egypt. He fear Pharaoh. He fear that the Israelites no go believe him. He fear say he no go fit speak well enough. Yet God send them back to the same place where they run from. Sometimes the breakthrough where you they look for, they on the other side of a fear where you no want to face. And like Moses, your calling may require you to confront something where you once escaped from. Now for verse 48 of the first chapter for today, now we'll learn say, the Most High does not live in houses made by human hands. In other words, you no feel limit God to structures, to systems, or even human traditions. You fit experience God in your car, in your kitchen, in your quiet time, on the road, even in your pain. Stephen, they remind everybody that God cannot be locked in a building. He is present everywhere, and they move freely in the life of anyone where they're willing to listen to his word. Now, coming to the suffering and the death of Stephen, this one, they remind me of what they do to Jesus. The messages with Stephen they share, can they provoke the crowd. And just like Jesus, he can't face death the same way. Stephen prayed for his killers, like Jesus. Stephen committed his spirit to God, just like Jesus. Stephen even responded with grace, not anger, the same way Jesus do. The face of Stephen can reflect heavenly peace, just like Jesus. So Stephen not just die defeated, he died victorious. And like Jesus, the suffering where Stephen go through can become a testimony that still speaks today as we read it. Now for the next chapter, they can talk about Simon, the sorcerer. This man don't amaze the people of Samaria for so many years. Everybody can think say him they operate from real spiritual power. But of course, we know say his influence now on top deception, on top lie, now he build them. His so-called greatness, they come from manipulation, not from God. When Philip can arrive preaching Christ, people can see the big difference between waiting this Simon the sorcerer they do and waiting Philip can bring to town. They can't see real power where they heal, where they deliver, where they bring joy. Then Simon, instead of repenting deeply, he see opportunity. He wants the benefits of the Holy Spirit without the transformation of the heart. That's why Peter can call him out. When Simon offered money for spiritual power, Peter can respond with a very sharp statement in Acts chapter 8, verse 20. He said, may your money perish with you because you thought you could buy the gift of God. No be just rebuke, na lesson for us today. We no fit buy, we no fit force, we no fit manipulate or package God's power. God no dey impressed by our money, our titles, or our platform. God they look at the motive behind our desire. If our heart no dey right, even good things go become corrupt. So why would they say Simon they represent wrong motives? We can't see the clean heart of an Ethiopian eunuch. Before that encounter happened, Philip listened to the Holy Spirit when the Holy Spirit whispered to him and said, make you go stand near that chariot where that man dey. Philip no argue. He no ask for details. He no demand for clarity. He just simply go do what they ask him to do. He obey. Sometimes, God no go give us the whole plan. He go just give us a direction. Obedience to that small instruction, it often lead to divine appointments. Inside that chariot where that man sit down, he dey search for God. A high-ranking official, he dey return from worship. That is this eunuch. He dey read the scriptures. He dey hungry for understanding. His heart dey open. His spirit was willing. He dey yearn for the truth. And when God come see him, he see the sincerity of the man's heart. Now he can send Philip, make it go directly to that man. This moment is supposed to remind all of us that God they always respond to people where they originally look for God. Him they see the person who truly desires truth. God they see the person where they tired of confusion and the person where they look for clarity. God they see the one where they say, Lord, help me understand. So this eunuch they represent everybody where in heart they ready. Those where they ask the right question. Those where they humble enough to admit, I don't understand, help me understand. And those where they're willing to follow the truth once it is revealed. His immediate response when they ask for baptism, now they show the kind of heart. He no want any delay at all.